Good evening, everyone. I welcome you guys tonight to KOTR. I know it's been a while. As many of for those that caught my channel update, I was traveling to North Carolina up in the mountains for the last couple months, so just now getting back into the swing of things. It is nice to be back. Well, kinda. I'd be lying if I actually said that, because I do love the mountains, but it is nice to be back doing these. It'd been nicer if I could have done these where I was at, but it was just impossible with the internet connection. We had relying on my Wi-Fi and my cell phone, just too much data at the time. Like I said, while I'm waiting for people to come in, kind of recover some of the changes that will be taking place with this channel, which really is nothing too major. It's just more changing the times to correspond with summer. That way people got time to and still enjoy the outdoors, enjoy all the things, and still have time to eat, clean up, then come enjoy a nice live podcast with me. A lot of things I'm going to be preparing and getting ready to do outside, that I'll be doing videos outside as well. For right now, I won't be able to live stream from outside. Can't reach the connection. But instead of going live like at 6 and 7, I'll be going live from here on out at 9 o'clock after tonight, which I think is better anyway. With me being on the East Coast, it allows, those on the West Coast to be able to still tune in and not be too late. It's not too late here on the East Coast. Like I said, I've got some upcoming projects that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to start bringing to you guys a few of the other sections of this channel that I haven't done yet. Urban myths and legends. I'm going to have some fun with that here in the months to come. The first one, I'm going to do a topic on the Nephilim, which I think you guys will enjoy. We got a little bit different perspective than most people, so on it. I mean, it's just speculation. Like I said, nobody can prove the theories. We find the bones and stuff, but when I say can't prove, I want to save that for a surprise. But I think you guys might find it interesting. I'm also planning to do some paranormal stuff. Been a while since I've done it. Been out of the game for a while, actually, on that. But I want to revisit where it all pretty much all started for me, and do a couple day walkthroughs in there, and then see if I can't get permission to do a night walkthrough as well, since it is a public park that I'm going to, and there's a few other places. We'll be bringing some of that, like I said, and we've decided to add a donations for this channel as well, to help support these upcoming projects and travel expenses, and getting better equipment to be able to film these podcasts and whatnot. So if you guys feel like donating, my PayPal link's in the description. Found ways to reach me, those that wish to take part in these things. But I am going to keep the Saturday nights open discussions going because I enjoy them. And they're more meant for you guys to join in, ask questions, share your stories. With that said, I'm also working on another project that's kind of taking up a lot of my time, just because I want to make sure it's done right. I'm not going to cover it because it's not on this channel. And I just want to slowly ease back into things. I know with everyone out there, we've had some interesting discussions on these Saturday night open discussion nights. And I seem to always look forward to hearing your guys' feedback, answering your questions, and learning from you. This gives us an opportune time to learn from each other and share ideas. And philosophize a bit on our spiritual paths and the way we each are unique in our practices, how we make things our own, which is the most important part. You know, now if I cut out immediately, it's because we're having some internet issues. Everything seems to be running well today for the most part, but I have dropped a couple times earlier today. So if I do drop, I'll come right back. Although it looks like tonight might be a slow night because I don't see anybody coming in or joining, so I might keep this one short. Just we only been streaming about 8 minutes, so I'll give you guys a little time to join in. I'll find something to ramble on. Now the upcoming, for those that was wondering about the Walking the Trees series, that'll be coming back Monday. And we'll continue where I left off. Meditations will be on Wednesday. Like I said, all times will be 9 from here on out. But also look, if you haven't subscribed, guys, please subscribe, because that way it makes it a lot easier for you to get questions. In fact, just let me share screens here with you real quick, or I might not be able to do this from here. For those that don't know how to, let me just show you how to share subscribe to somebody. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Make sure you click subscribe, and make sure And make sure you guys click on the bell notifications when I see the notification when I upload videos and go live. And that just makes things easier because I am going to actually stop sharing on groups on Facebook. And only be, so when I send out my links and updates, it'll only be to my group and on Twitter and Facebook and the WordPress site. Just because it takes too much time to be constantly sending these links out to all these groups, and really, I don't get no feedback. So, pretty much what tells me that the groups that I normally share to you guys content. So, not to mention all the groups I got removed from that, supposedly are pagan groups. But soon they hear something different that goes against what their idea of their religious preferences and beliefs. They don't want nothing to do with anybody, and and you guys by now already know I'm big on that. Big on the division. That's within our communities. Plus, a while back, I ran into being affiliated with somebody because I was just on their website. So I'm gonna put an end to all that. Videos on this channel, you can find them. I will continue to post on the websites that I am on. But other than that, as far as the Facebook groups go, it's just not. It's more of a head. To me, it's become more of a headache and a nuisance than it's been anything else. I'm wasting more time setting the links up, anywhere between 45 minutes, sending out all the and links to these groups, to where, and since December, you guys haven't subscribed by now. Apparently, you're not going to. I do these, like I said, I've decided to do these live versions of these so I can interact with you guys. I think that's an important aspect here, to be able to interact with each other. While I'm discussing something, you have a question, I can answer it. That's why, I pretty much will keep once I'm screen sharing, I keep my YouTube channel open so I can watch chat. I usually have a couple people join me, excuse me, a couple people join me that also help monitor the chat time. This being my first broadcast back in a couple months, it'll be a little bit for everybody to get back in the swing of things. So, what have I been into? On the occult side, I've been actually, thank Chris for this. He mentioned it to me a while back before I took off, and I don't know, about what was it? The Babylon working. And I really, watched a few YouTube videos on it. Come to find out, while I was in North Carolina, after running out of things to read, I decided to pull up my computer and go through my PDFs on here. Come to find out, lo and behold, I had this book called. Let me actually just pull it up. Keys of the Abyss. Jack Parsons, The Babylon Working, and the Black Pilgrim Decoded. Imagine this, I've had this in my files since '09. Never read it. Up until a couple weeks ago, I started reading it. Started actually taking some notes, and I'm going to tie this with a little bit with the Enochian when I do some Enochian stuff. Like I said on the Enochian, it's going to be more philosophy. I'm not going to get into ritual structures of it, just mainly because, we are responsible in a way for the things we put out there, so I don't want people seeing something I said and thinking it's concrete and going and doing it. It's a system that has had various people discuss it and talk about it. And I was studying the Babylon working aspect of relations and how it tied in. How Jack Parsons, Crowley, and a few others used this philosophy. Black magician, which for those that don't know, they call it person is referred to in that sense was Ron L. Hubbard. We're going to stay far away from the Scientology aspect of this. Just because I don't feel like, for those that don't know, they have a tendency to go after people that talk about it. Threaten them with copyright lawsuits, this and that. I might touch on certain aspects of the Black Magician. Maybe touch a little and throw my theories out there, which I think are kind of pretty sound in a sense. But we're not going to get into all that because, yeah. Not that I have really anything against any of it. It's just, in a sense, I'll say this much, in a sense, Scientology is a form of cyber magic. Misguided and misused, albeit, it is still a form of cyber magic. And I do plan on revisiting the cyber magic and Siegel stuff as well. Like I said, I got a lot of projects planned for you guys. But the Babylon working, I found, at least thus far, I've found it interesting. Just on the ideas and concepts. Because it seems no matter how far I avoid the Enochian subject, I always find my way back in it at least 4 or 5 times a year. It is an area that I thoroughly have enjoyed studying and working with. And I can't remember, I think it was one of the open discussions, I think it was 5 or 4 nights that I actually talked a little bit and showed some of the photos of my tablets and breakdowns of my stuff. I get into discussing any of it, just showed it. Because it seems like every time I was looking for something, I'd always end up in that folder, so. But for the most part, guys, like I said, 22 minutes in, and I'm the only viewer watching this, so I guess you guys really ain't interested, but I don't blame you. It's been nice outside all day today. I might think about pushing this to a later time. But since I do have this Babylon working thing, the Keys to the Abyss opened up. Let me read some of the highlighted sections of it that I've done. Just jump right to the top. There's one section in here I found that I wanted to discuss. Just gotta find it. Bear with me. I guess we'll start off with this. I guess a lot of people, I wonder how many of you actually know who Jack Parsons was. I think many may know him as for his achievements in science and NASA, especially those that live out on the West Coast. You know, he has got a facility named after him because he helped design and create the solid rocket fuel boosters for the space shuttle. And a lot of people know him for that, but they don't know him for his occult practices, which I found quite interesting. And many don't know that he was in correspondence with Crowley at the same time. Which allows you guys to see that how much, even to this day, that occult practices and teachings do have you can find their roots in science as well. I mean, in a sense, if you look at scientific notation and theory, it is a formula that's more of a cultic on how you do your structures. And I think I've stated it in the past. We look at the things we call terminology of the day. I mean, medicine. We can find occult roots in medicine, science, psychology. As history evolves and we advance, it seems people find ways to change the names of things to not give it the occult look. But in a sense, the occult is dealing with the unknown. Science is dealing with the unknown. Medicine, doctors, they deal with the unknown when they're researching diseases and ways to cure it. I mean, alchemy. It's like a lot of people that go back to talking about Enochian. Dr. D, John D. He was a great physician as well. He wrote academic books on medical and alchemical stuff for medicines. And not to mention, he was probably the true first 007, as they will put it in some books. He was a spy for the Queen. And he had a fair amount of influence. We live in a society where it seems to be that everyone's quick to judge, especially if you don't follow that a said person's religion or their belief system. Yeah, and it's just frustrating when you deal with people like that. But at the same time, we have to remember, we can't blame them. That's what they were taught since they were a kid. They were indoctrinated, programmed. Very few find ways to kind of step outside that box and see that there's other truths out there. Like I said, I don't care what religion you practice. There's truths in all religions. You just got to take the dogma out. Just like you take the dogma out. Research the history. It's like Christianity. Let's be truthful. How many different denominations of Christianity is there? Many, but history shows how that came about. Catholicism was the first branch of Christianity. From it, all other Christianity sprung. Because they didn't agree with the Catholics' doctrine or dogma. Just like I've done articles on the words heathen, heretic, pagan. I took it back to the root origins of the words, which dated back to the Catholicism. How they deemed these words and start calling people this. Well, what these words mean, free thinkers. The free thinkers opposed the church. They were a threat to the church because they seen the contradictions. They seen how the dogma was being used to control people. So therefore, they were not free. Anybody that knows me, well, I will flat out tell you what's my idea on the word and belief of religion. simply that. Religion is nothing more than the means to control the masses. I'd rather be a heathen, heretic, and a pagan, a free thinker. Nobody can, that way no one's pulling my strings but myself. But as many know, that comes through years of growth, knowledge, the destruction of the temple. Goes and starts putting words in my mouth. What is the destruction of the temple? Christianity, what is the temple? The temple is our body. In most religions, I believe it is just that. In fact, I can remember a scripture in the Bible that states that we're not to scar our temple as a scar our body. And what is the destruction of the temple? The destruction of the temple is taking and opening our minds up, becoming free thinkers, questioning everything we've been taught, every belief idea we had. As we grow and learn, we start seeing the false realities that we are taught and that we've been living. And until we break free from those and sever those chains, we cannot become true free thinkers. We cannot become true and free. That is why, as an initiate, that's the first thing you start working on. And trust, it takes years, guys. I mean, but it doesn't stop. You know, some people say, well, once you reach the neophyte grade or the adeptus minor, it doesn't matter. You're still going to go through that process of destruction of the temple every day. And it doesn't mean what you had already learned was wrong. It was right at the time. You just weren't ready for the next part. You weren't ready to see it in its fullest. You know, we gotta learn to have patience. I know it's hard. I'm not the most patient person either. But patience is a key. It's also a virtue. We can't be afraid to realize that maybe one of our ideals was wrong. And that's where the destruction of the temple, after constantly questioning, so you'll know, just follow that inner voice inside you. It'll lead you in the right way. It might not feel like it. You know, let me tell you how I was taught. You take everything you've ever learned, take it out of your brain bucket, set it on a shelf. Go ahead and let it grow dust. The only thing you need to worry about is what's in front of you now. Learn that. Don't let what's on the shelf growing dust, gathering dust, come and interfere or make you quit. There'll be a time for that. The time, not right now, the time now is to learn. And as you do, and you reach a point, then you go dust off the cobwebs and bring it back. Look for the contradictions. You'll instantly see them. You'll start seeing the patterns. You'll start seeing the truths and half-truths, and the ones that are just, hey, it was not meant. Yeah, you were deceived. Get rid of it. And you start getting rid of that. Eventually, as you do this over the years, eventually it becomes easier to see the patterns and things, be able to know when, yeah, that don't seem right. But it also allows you, when you learn something, it's like, oh, okay, now I understand. Okay, I had this wrong just a little bit. Now if I add this to it, okay. Where before you wouldn't want to, it worked, but it don't. You don't want to touch it because you think it's completely right, so you don't mess with it. It just takes time to get to that point. I mean, I'm still learning. We will continue learning to the day we die. You know, life's a journey. It has its ups and downs. You know, and we live in a world that is right now is so ever changing. It's we can get consumed and caught up. You know, my best advice on that: don't observe, watch. Sometimes it's good to be quiet and just watch and observe. You'll see so much more. You begin to see the patterns. And it also allows your inner voice to speak more through you as you do, showing you the things that you're missing. Not many of not many of us, you know, I think we just don't take enough time out for ourselves, like me. Yeah, I was gone for about 3 months. Truthfully, I wasn't, I haven't been back a full year. You know, I moved back from North Carolina in October of last year, back to Ohio. So I wasn't here for, I was probably about 6 months. But in that 6 months, I still needed a break from everything. I mean, I wasn't feeling like I needed it, but I realized it once I got where I was at. But it's, you know, like I said, you guys, each of you know what your place is where you can just feel relaxed, meditated, and refreshed. And sometimes it's good to shut the computers off and the phones off and just take a break, go outside, away from all the electronics and all the garbage that's on the TV. It allows us to refresh, clear our minds from I mean, every day you turn on your TV, every day you open up your phone or go to Facebook, YouTube, wherever, you're bombarded with so much psychological warfare, cyber magic, sigils on a constant basis. I mean, I covered this in depth already. I'm going to revisit it because it's important. And most people, they don't realize it. They don't pay a meme any attention. What is a meme? It is nothing more than a sigil that you guys are now charging. Charging, or you're being triggered with it. You know, I want to get back into some defensive things as well, teaching. But I think I am to end this broadcast. Like I said, I'm the only one watching. And tonight's not about my ideas and theories anyway. It's supposed to be about your guys' and what you guys want to talk about. So, you know, I kind of rambled on a bunch of different subjects, not really got into anything. But for the most part, like I said, everything will be back to normal starting next week. And like I said, it's going to be more important now that you guys subscribe, like, and share these videos, because I'm just going to start doing them and sending the links out to my Facebook page, my Twitter account, my WordPress site, and I'm just going to go live and roll with it. So if you're not subscribed, you haven't clicked on that bell, you're not going to know when I'm live, you're not going to know when I upload videos. Like I said, I've got some great projects ahead. There's some great upcoming videos that I'll be uploading to here. And like I said, guys, your comments, your feedbacks are always welcome. And I am looking for people to also join me on these streams to work with me as well, especially those that practice the Wiccan belief and practice, because that's not my area of expertise. I know minimum not enough to even open my mouth and really say anything about it. But it'd be nice to have someone from all different practices and beliefs to join in and share their ideas and their teachings. That way we're catering to everybody. That's what, even when I started the magazine, that's what it was about. Just not about my ideas, my beliefs. It's about everybody's. And I'm giving you a place to share those and bring them. Which, like I said, this channel is just as much for me as it is for you guys. So when you guys, like I said, all the links in the descriptions to reach me is in the description. You know, I'm willing to take a little time out, work with you, or help you set your own up. But so I think I'll just leave it at that. Like I said, I'm still trying to get back in the swing of things, which is probably why it's kind of all over the map tonight. But hey, like I said, next Saturday, open discussion night, episode 7. It's your guys' night. I might keep the same time. No, it'll be 9 o'clock. There'll be twice next month in July. I'll end up doing this Saturday night open discussions on Sunday. Track. But other than that, this, like I said, 9 o'clock from here on out. Every Saturday, we'll have the live open discussion night. Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll be live with topics. And the rest I will just be uploading. So, I hope you guys enjoy what's coming. I look forward to talking with some of you, getting to know some of you. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and you guys have a wonderful work week ahead. May you guys all be safe and blessed.